Hey guys, I'm Lara from PSU TV and KPSU. I'm here today with Brennan Smiley from the Technicolors, a rock band hailing from Phoenix, Arizona. They're currently on tour with the Maine on a holiday West Coast tour, so how's it going?
It's going great.
Good.
Got 2 shows down and just starting to work out the kinks. So I think it's pretty smooth sailing from here.
Awesome.
But yeah.
Cool. And how is it touring with the Maine? I know this isn't your first time with them, right?
Yeah, it's a blast. Just because they're such great friends of ours, and it was really nice of them to have us out on this tour with them. And I think there's something about doing a holiday tour that kind of loosens everything up. Because you're kind of just out to, have a good time, spread the holiday cheer.
Yeah,
So
for sure. Are you going to be doing any Christmas songs? Or holiday songs?
kind of. Not really. But we've been walking on to the Home Alone theme song every single night.
Nice.
So,
It's a classic.
Yeah.
Cool. Sweet. So why don't you just start by telling us a little bit about yourself and the Technicolors and how it all got started?
Yeah, basically, I was when I was in high school, I always played guitar, and I knew I wanted to play music for a living. And so, about the time I decided not to go to college, I thought I'd move to Nashville or something and just be a session guitar player or something. And never sang or anything like that. My dad, when I graduated high school, my dad, who's a producer as well, he kind of challenged me to try writing songs, and that led to me really loving doing that and coming up with a ton of tunes and then recording them and bringing them back home and wanting to play them out and put a band together. So I reached out to some friends, and we started playing shows around town, and we all kind of hit it off, and I liked the idea of being in a band rather than just my name, so something to hide behind, I guess. But
Yeah.
and we were all just having a great time, so that's kind of how it started. And from then on, we started booking our own tours and doing whatever we could to pursue it on I think a larger scale than a lot of other people back home were okay with. Not very many touring bands come out of Arizona, so we liked it enough to where we wanted to do that. So that was kind of the goal, was to get out. So.
Yeah, and you've been doing a lot of that past few years. You've been touring with Lydia, touring with the Maine. You released Ultraviolet Disguise earlier this year. How has that journey been for you?
It's been great. We are still, we've been at this for a while. I guess I would say we've been at just the world of music for a long time, because we're all musicians. We all just love music, but it really feels like this year has been the first year where we've started to gain a sense of identity, just because we've finally been in front of the right people, and we've really built a relationship with those people, it feels like, and it's a really beautiful thing. And I think since we put that EP out, we had some other material that we recorded last year that we just hadn't released. We released a deluxe edition of that EP with those extra 5 songs on it, and there's been a great response to that. It's just been nice. It's been nice to have some ears to hear our music, whether they like it or not. There's at least some kind of some kind of feedback or some kind of thing to rebound from.
Right. Yeah.
That's a new experience for us. So it's really great.
Response.
Yeah, just having something there to respond to it, Not to say that there's anything wrong with that not being there, because we did that for a long time as well, but it's nice to adapt to that, So.
Yeah, definitely. So you mentioned the idea of kind of finding your identity as a band. So how would you describe that?
Ooh, I think the road, the road has taught us more than anything. We've done a couple really great tours. We've done a lot of really tough tours just throughout the course of us being in a band. And you know, the last tour we went on, we kind of had we had all of the stereotypical things go wrong that can go wrong on the road for a band that's, you know, touring in a van and trailer, and they all kind of happened at once. And it was a real dark time, I think, dealing with those things, and then some other things that were going on within the band, and we really learned to lean on each other and lean on the songs that we were playing, and we were forced to play the music that we loved, because that was the only, you know, there would be nights where that's the only reason that you're there, is because you love doing that, you know. And I think that's the biggest thing that we've learned. So through that, that has really shaped, you know, not only the sound, just the way we connect with our instruments on stage, because that can be a very different thing than the way you do it in the studio when you're recording. But I think that's taught us what we love to do, and when we're excited about what we're doing, I think people, like, that's something that someone would hopefully be able to connect with. I think it in my experience, it seems like those are always the things that seem to reach out and connect in a way that you could never plan. You could never plan it. You know, you have like Los Angeles pop songwriters all sitting in a room and sitting around like planning, oh man, let's write a song about this, it'll like hit this market of like teenage girls or something. Like it's crazy how much, it's so cliche to say, but how much how much it matters to actually write something that's true, even if it might be a little bit more vague. Every time we've done that versus the other way, it's always been the thing that connects beyond what we could have even tried to do. So all that to say, I think the road has shaped who we are in terms of what we like to do, and also the way that we actually sound as a band. So I think the goal on our next batch of songs is to bring that element into the recording, so which will be nice.
Yeah, nice. I like that element you describe of kind of like going within to find the songs rather than having it be an outward directed process where you're just trying to like direct it toward a certain target audience or whatever. So what else could you tell me about your songwriting process and maybe where you draw inspiration?
Yeah, inspiration at this point in my life comes from, I would say, primarily the road again. Maybe an experience, or maybe I don't know, you know, like doing, I guess I would equate what we're doing to a lot of other younger artists out there. I think there's this culture of people that are, you know, maybe around my age, that are kind of finding their way and paving their own path, and learning how difficult that is in this day and age when there's so many people that are doing that, because so many people are able to do it. And so you kind of hit this threshold where you either die out and you're like, it's not for me, I want to try something else, or you stick to it. I think for me, touring has been something that not only is just a unique experience, but it teaches you about the way you view, I guess it really impacts your view of life, the way that you see things, because you're consistently doing something that's really inconsistent. So you're waking up every single day and doing kind of the same thing, but in a different city with a different set of circumstances, which is tiring, but also really invigorating and really energizing for me to be able to be a part of it. I guess at this point in my life, I feel a bit more at home doing that than I would, you know, actually being home in Arizona. So I would say, man, I'm not even talking about songwriting anymore. I would say that for me right now, that's what inspires me as a songwriter. The way we write as a band is kind of anything goes. You know, Sean, our guitar player, is also very amazing songwriter, and a lot of times him and I are collaborating on an idea, whether it's musically or lyrically, and then sometimes he'll come to us with a tune, with the song idea. Sometimes I'll come to the guys with just a finished song, and you know, I think, and same with Troy and Nico. Like I think a lot of times it'll start with just a keys bit, you know, that we just hear in the back, because Troy kind of just tinkers while we're all talking whenever we're together, and every now and then we'll like be in the middle of some conversation about, you know, like whatever business side of things or something, and you'll hear some keys going in the back, and oh, we gotta stop, what is that, like, and then I mean that literally happened 2 months ago, right before we went on tour, and it ended up being one of the tunes that's probably going to make this next batch. So I think yeah, it's just this like circle of creative energy, which I feel so privileged to be a part of, and to be surrounded by all those talented dudes, that, like, you know, we all work so well together and love being with each other. So it's a really interesting thing, and when I think about it a lot, I'm kind of dumbfounded by how well it works. So
yeah, sounds like a pretty magical thing.
yeah, it's great. It's very interesting, and very I don't know, very it's something that's like completely out of my hands, you know. It's just
Yeah.
I could never predict that. I could never be like, yeah, you look, this will all work. So
Right. Just kind of comes together. It's
Yeah.
synergy.
Yeah.
Cool. So, just got a couple minutes left here. So I was gonna ask you, this is what I ask every musician: why music? What's in it for you, and what do you hope is in it for your fans?
Why music? I would say that I can't answer that, just because that's what I believe that I'm here to do. I just, you know, I think it's who I am, and it's also what I do. And I think as far as the fans go, I mean, we're grateful for everything, to have people listening to what we're doing, and at the same time, I think the best way that we can honor that is by doing things for ourselves, creating for ourselves, and creating in a way that's exciting to us and excites us, because otherwise it wouldn't be real, it wouldn't be genuine if we were writing something for somebody, you know, I think, or trying to please a certain person or a certain kind of person. So I would say, like, I hope people dig it. Obviously, that's always nice, but you know, we you know, I think want to be able to stay as close to what excites us as possible, and I think that's why, you know, we have to. I think that would be the reason, is that's what we have to do. So
Yeah. Great answer. Nice. So, just got one more for you. What's coming up for you this next year?
well, more touring. I think right at the I think January 1st we go into demo zone. So we've been sitting on a bunch of ideas, tons of ideas that aren't even close to being finished, but we kind of have a vision for this next batch of tunes that we want to put together. We're not sure if it's going to be an album or what way we'll release it, but definitely getting busier, not slowing down at all, which will be nice. And I think we're gonna start there, start with songs, and the touring part will always kind of be, I know we've already got some stuff locked down for early next year, or in the process of locking it down, so that I think will kind of just be like always intermittent and always there. But the next main goal is to get a batch of tunes out that reflects our live show, I think. So
Great. Nice. Lots to look forward to.
yes.
Cool. So, very last thing, if you could make one holiday wish, what would it be?
I wish for the people of Portland to recover from this crazy
From all
flood
the
that just
rain.
happens.
That's divine. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much,
Yeah.
Brennan. Once again, Brennan Smiley from the Technicolors.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you for speaking with us today.
Thanks for having me.